Imagine someone says, I'm completely certain my belief is true, even though I have no evidence. In most situations, we would call that dogmatism, maybe bias, maybe irrational confidence. But if the exact same attitude is expressed about religion, something strange often happens. The label changes. Suddenly, it becomes faith. And in many cultures, faith is not just tolerated, it is praised, respected, even celebrated as a virtue. But should it be? Is faith truly a noble quality, or is it sometimes just a polite name for believing without good reason? Tonight, we are not attacking believers, we are examining an idea because those are not the same thing. Faith is often treated like courage or honesty. Across many religious cultures, faith is presented as something deeply valuable. Children are taught early that having faith is admirable, almost like courage, like kindness, like integrity. If someone says they have faith, people often hear something positive immediately, as if faith itself signals depth of character. But if we pause and ask one simple question, things become more complicated. What exactly is faith? At its most common meaning, faith often refers to believing something without sufficient evidence. Sometimes more than that. Sometimes it means continuing to believe even when evidence pushes the other way. And that is where the real question begins. Should that automatically count as a virtue? Humans have always had faith in different things. History shows that people have always believed deeply in gods, spirits, destiny, sacred forces, supernatural plans. Ancient Egyptians had faith in their gods. Ancient Greeks had faith in theirs. Norse cultures had faith in different gods entirely, and nearly all of them felt confident they were right. That creates an uncomfortable problem. If faith were a reliable tool for discovering truth, we might expect people using faith sincerely to slowly converge on the same answers. But that is not what history shows. Instead, faith has led human beings to thousands of conflicting conclusions. So, if two people use faith and arrive at opposite beliefs, how trustworthy is faith as a path of truth? Compare faith to how we handle other claims. In science, medicine, and everyday reasoning, we usually follow a different process. We examine evidence, we test ideas, we revise conclusion, we discard what fails. That process can be slow, messy, humbling, but it has one crucial strength. Our beliefs are allowed to change. Faith often works differently. In many traditions, faith is prized, especially when it survives doubt, sometimes even when evidence is absent. Sometimes, when evidence creates tension, that creates a striking contrast. In science, virtue often means adjusting belief to match reality. In faith, virtue can mean preserving belief despite uncertainty. Those are radically different standards. But doesn't faith give people hope? Many people would answer yes. They might say faith gives comfort, hope, meaning, emotional resilience. And sometimes that may be true, but we need to ask a careful question. If something makes us feel better, does that automatically make it an intellectual virtue? Imagine someone deeply believes a lucky stone in their pocket protects them from danger. That belief might reduce anxiety. It might increase confidence. It might genuinely comfort them. But does comfort make the belief rational? Does emotional usefulness make it epistemically virtuous? Or is it simply comforting? Those are different categories. The human brain is built to find patterns. Some philosophers and cognitive scientists suggest that faith may be better understood not as a virtue, but as a common physiological tendency. The human brain evolved to detect patterns. We look for order, purpose, agency, intent behind events. And often that helps us survive. If our ancestors heard movement in the bushes and assumed a predator might be there, caution increased survival chances. Better to over-detect danger than under-detect it. But that same mental habit has a side effect. Sometimes we see agency where none exists, meaning where none was placed, purpose where randomness may be operating. In many cases, faith may emerge from that tendency, the desire to see intention behind the world. Not all faith is the same. We should also be fair. Faith is not one simple thing. For many people, faith is tied to family, identity, culture, memory, and community. It can carry emotional depth and personal meaning. So, this conversation should not be reduced to stereotypes. But if our goal is truth rather than comfort, one principle matters. Beliefs become more valuable when they are open to examination, when they allow questions, when they welcome evidence, when they can change if reality demands it. A belief that is protected from doubt by definition places itself outside investigation, and once a belief cannot be questioned, something important is lost. Is faith a cognitive limitation? This is where some critics make a sharper claim. They argue faith may sometimes resemble a cognitive weakness more than a virtue, not because believers are unintelligent, not because religious people are incapable of reason, but because the method of believing matters. If a person forms beliefs through evidence in most areas of life, but suspends that standard in one protected area, then the issue is not intelligence, it is inconsistency. The criticism of faith is often about method, not about people. That distinction is essential. What actually helps us understand reality? Maybe the deepest question is not whether faith is good or bad in moral sense. Maybe the better question is what kind of beliefs help us understand the world more accurately? Beliefs that permit questioning or beliefs that demand loyalty before examination? Beliefs that evolve with evidence or beliefs that define doubt as a failure? History gives us clues. Human progress has often happened when people questioned what once seemed sacred and untouchable, when authority was challenged, when dogma was tested, when certainty was examined. That pattern matters. This is not about human worth. Let's be clear, whether someone has faith says little by itself about their kindness, dignity, or worth as a human being. People inherit beliefs through families, cultures, and environment they did not choose. Most of us begin life inside stories we did not write. So, this conversation is not about judging people. This is about evaluating methods of belief formation, and those are not the same thing. The real danger. Problems often begin when a belief is declared sacred from the start. Do not question it. Do not test it. Do not doubt it. Just believe it. That instruction has slowed progress in many forms throughout history. Because some of humanity's greatest breakthroughs came only after someone dared to question what everyone else treated as unquestionable. So perhaps the real issue is not faith itself, it is whether faith deserves automatic praise, whether belief without evidence should be called noble, whether certainty without scrutiny should be treated as wisdom, or whether a healthier path is something else entirely: questions, evidence, humility, and the willingness to change our mind when reality says otherwise. Maybe that path is less comforting, but it may also be closer to truth. So, what do you think? Should faith be considered a virtue, or should all beliefs remain open to doubt and investigation? Write your thought in the comments. And if you enjoy conversation like this, stay with us, because in the next videos we are going after more questions many people were told should never be asked. And never forget, nothing is more sacred than asking questions.